If you care about the survival of American institutions, you need to pay attention to what I'm about to tell you. Subscribe to this channel right now and turn on notifications because what happened today in a federal courtroom in Manhattan isn't just a legal story. It is a stress test on whether our democracy can actually function. When someone decides the rules simply don't apply to them, here represents the absolute breakdown of order that we witnessed this morning. At exactly 11:47 a.m. inside a high-security federal courtroom, we saw something that legal historians are saying has not happened in over 20 years. Robert Sterling and Jennifer Matthews, two of the most high-profile and expensive defense attorneys in the United States, stood up in the middle of a sentence packed there. Briefcases and attempted to physically flee the courtroom to abandon their client. Let's be very clear about what that means. These are officers of the court. They are sworn to uphold the Constitution. And yet, because a ruling did not go their way, they tried to walk out the door, but they didn't make it. Because Judge Patricia Caldwell, a veteran Reagan appointee who has sat on the federal bench for 31 years, did something no one expected. She ordered the doors sealed to understand why this happened and why 6 armed U.S. Marshals had to physically block the exits. We have to go back 48 hours. The chaos today was actually triggered by a clerical error that occurred 2 days ago. A sealed document was accidentally uploaded to PACER, the public court record system. It was only online for 17 minutes before it was scrubbed, but that was long enough. In those 17 minutes, legal researchers downloaded a file that contained what insiders are calling the most damaging paper trail in the history of white-collar crime. We are talking about encrypted communications and wire transfers totaling $4.7 million. These transactions allegedly took place during a time period that the defense has repeatedly claimed was a blackout period with zero contact between the defendants. This morning, Judge Caldwell admitted every single page of that 8-for-7-page document into evidence. That was the spark. Attorney Robert Sterling stood up and delivered a speech that was clearly rehearsed. He accused the court of abandoning impartiality. He called it a predetermined show trial. His co-counsel, Jennifer Matthews, called it prosecutorial misconduct, and then they turned their backs on the judge and started walking. Now, usually judges in these high-profile cases try to de-escalate. They call for a recess. They try to cool the temperature. Judge Caldwell did the opposite. She looked at the defense team and said effectively, "Take one more step and you are going to jail." Her exact words were, "Counselors, if you take one more step toward that door, I will hold you in criminal contempt and issue bench warrants for your immediate arrest." The standoff that followed lasted 7 minutes and 23 seconds. It was a moment of total institutional paralysis. You had million-dollar lawyers staring down federal agents with hands on their holsters. If you are just joining us, please hit the like button because this story gets much darker when you look at why the lawyers were actually running. It wasn't just about the financial documents. Judge Caldwell revealed later that she had received a sealed ex parte submission from the Department of Justice. For those who don't know, ex parte means the defense doesn't get to see it. This is extremely rare. It is usually reserved for national security issues and this is key witness protection. The judge indicated that based on this secret file, she was considering sequestering the jury. Every legal expert I have spoken to says this means one thing: the prosecution has a flipper. Someone on the inside has turned. They are calling this person Witness 14. This individual has been in protective custody since October. And here is the kicker. Witness 14 is scheduled to testify next Tuesday, exactly 96 hours after this attempted walkout. The leading theory right now is that Witness 14 is a CFO or a controller, someone who knows where every single penny of that $4.7 million went. The panic from the defense team suggests they know exactly who this is, and they know that once this person takes the stand, the case is effectively over. But we have to look at the political machinery behind this. This wasn't just a spontaneous burst of anger from the lawyers. There is evidence that this was a coordinated political hit job designed to cause a mistrial. How do we know? Because Fox News had camera crews set up outside the courthouse 45 minutes before the walkout happened. Conservative commentators were tweeting about judicial tyranny before the public even knew the lawyers had tried to leave. And then there is the text message. A paralegal on the defense team has leaked information that 5 minutes before Robert Sterling stood up at 11:42 a.m., he received a text message. It contained just 2 words: abort mission. Sources say this text came from a senior political strategist. This suggests the entire scene, the outrage, the speech, the walkout was performance art. It was theater designed to force Judge Caldwell to declare a mistrial. If she declares a mistrial, the case gets delayed. If the case gets delayed past the election, the strategy wins. Judge Caldwell knows this. In her order this evening, she explicitly accused the defense of coordinating with outside parties. She warned that any further political performance art would be met with severe sanctions. She even threatened to appoint shadow counsel. This is a nuclear option where the court assigns backup lawyers to sit in the room, ready to take over the defense instantly if Sterling and his team try to pull this stunt again. The financial fallout for the lawyers is already starting. We are hearing reports that Sterling's law firm is in emergency talks with their malpractice insurance carrier. The partners were seen entering their Manhattan offices at 10 p.m. on a Friday night. If they are found in contempt, or if their walkout causes a mistrial, they could be personally liable for millions of dollars. Their insurance might not cover intentional acts of sabotage against a court proceeding. But let's pull back and look at the bigger picture. Why does this matter to you? Because if this tactic works, the justice system breaks. Judge Caldwell said it herself. If lawyers can just walk out whenever they are losing, then every defendant in America will do it. You can have a system where the wealthy can simply flip the table over when the game isn't going their way. We have only seen this attempted 3 times in modern history. In 1978 with the mob trials, in 1992 with the Beachy banking scandal, and in 2009 with Bernie Madoff. In all those cases, the lawyers were forced to stay and the defendants were convicted. The public reaction shows that Americans are tired of these games. A Reuters Ipsos poll taken this evening shows 67% of Americans disapprove of the walkout, including nearly half of Republicans. Even staunch defenders like Alan Dershowitz are saying you cannot walk out on a federal judge. The situation outside the courthouse is now volatile. The U.S. Marshals have elevated security to the highest possible level. There are reports of far-right militia groups gathering near the perimeter. The FBI is on standby. Judge Caldwell has warned that any attempt to incite violence will be met with the full force of federal law enforcement. We are heading into a weekend of absolute uncertainty. On Monday morning, Judge Caldwell will rule on the motion for a mistrial. She will decide if witness 14 testifies, and she will decide if Robert Sterling and Jennifer Matthews are allowed to remain on the case or if they will be arrested for contempt. This is a dangerous moment. We are watching a legal team try to destroy the legitimacy of a court because they cannot win on the facts. They are betting that if they create enough chaos, the system will collapse. I will be tracking this all weekend. We are waiting to find out who sent that abort mission text. We are waiting for more details on witness 14. If you want to know what happens the moment the court opens on Monday, you need to be subscribed to this channel. This isn't just a trial anymore. It is a question of whether the law still matters. Leave a comment below. Do you think the judge should have arrested them on the spot? Or is she right to wait until Monday? I want to hear your thoughts. I'm going to be reading the comments for the next hour. Stay tuned, stay vigilant, and I will see you on Monday.